We have Mubin Shaikh and Ann Speckhard with us. Their profiles are all on the table, so I'm not going to go into a long sort of discussion about who they are. Prominent individuals, well known in the field, and from what I've heard already, it's going to be a very engaging night. What we're going to do is each speaker is going to speak for 20 to 30 minutes, please. And then we're going to open up to the floor for questions. And then after the event, we'll have a reception outside. If anybody wishes to have translation, you can pick up a headset on the side if you already don't, unless you already have one, okay? So without any further ado, I would like to ask Mubin to come to the floor, and please, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So I'm Mubin Shaikh. I'm going to give you my perspective on inside the mind of a jihadist. And I think we need to explain the terms that we're referring to. We hear the term radicalization very often, and I submit to you that radicalization is a word to describe the process whereby a person becomes extremist. And extremist is somebody who believes that you should use violence to achieve political goals. And the one who acts on it is a violent extremist, okay? So we have this, let me just bring this up. So this is the cover of our book that Dr. Speckhard and I wrote. It has the full story, my sad story of my sad life. I think you will enjoy it. And my intention to write the book was I wanted even other young people who may be going through this to read this and think, wow, you know, his life is very similar to my life. Or maybe to read it and think, wow, this guy's really screwed up. You know, I shouldn't have become like him. So I'm going to give you a very simple diagram that shows this process. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my life according to this process. So for example, we are born into whatever families, into whatever societies, and we learn from this environment in which we are born. We learn from our families, what our families teach us, what our families show us, and we learn from our society, what our society tells us is good, is not good, what you can do, what you cannot do, and we begin to develop and construct our identities based on this. But for the person who is becoming radicalized, this process, some things jump out in their life. So when I mention geopolitics, they become very aware of political conflicts that are happening in the world. When I talk about deprivation and frustration, they may be living in a conflict zone. They may be living in a very difficult situation where they don't have a proper home, they don't have proper water, their life is difficult, and they become frustrated because of this. Number 3, conflicts over meaning and identity. Who am I? What am I supposed to do in my life? Adventure is another aspect. Money for some people. Joining terrorist groups is not always about ideology. Sometimes it is about money. If you talk to those people who are researching groups like Boko Haram or Al-Shabaab in Somalia, they are offered money to go. And for someone who has no job, no education, he cannot get a job, a group comes to you and says, here's a few $100s, you need to pay, you need to feed your family, right? And most people, they involve themselves. So you have individual and groups, and most people, they involve themselves in some kind of activism. Okay, they might go to a protest, they might write letters to their members of parliament, and this is the kind of political behavior they engage in because they want to see some kind of change in the system. But for those people, and I should say most radicalized individuals, they end here. All the scholars will tell you that the vast majority of people who become radicalized do not become terrorists. But for those who do become terrorists, there are things that you can see in their life. So for example, number 1 is justifying violence through individual action. They believe that I must do something. In the Islamic Arabic term, there is fard ayn and fard kifaya. So a lot of these people believe that there is fard ayn, that I must do something. Number 2, how closed is the group? So if you see that a group is doing surveillance of a bus station, this is an indicator that this person is up to no good. They are probably going to do something. Number three, the people that you are around with, you will become like them. There's an example of, the blacksmith, the one who works with iron. Now, if you are not a blacksmith, but you stand beside him, when you go home, you will smell like smoke. Or somebody who works in a perfume shop. If you stand beside them, when you go home, you will smell like perfume. So if you hang around with violent extremists, it's very likely that you will also become a violent extremist. Overseas travel for training, this is obvious, and recruiting others, because the more you talk about it, the more you want to do it. So these two stars are wildcard factors. This is, for example, somebody who is, let's say, in Afghanistan. His house just got bombed by an airstrike. He doesn't know ideology, he doesn't know politics, but he knows you killed his family. And so he will become a terrorist. So here's how my life fits into this. When I was growing up, I went to a madrasa. Okay, this is like a Pakistani madrasa where you sit on the floor, wooden bench, and you're reading Quran, but you don't understand what we are reading. We don't know what we are reading. We don't learn Arabic, we don't learn tafsir, we don't learn any of this. Okay? So this is, and also, if you read the Quran wrong, you would get a slap. Or the teacher, he had a stick and he would hit you with it. So you have the idea that religion is something violent. You'll see the pictures. The next picture I have is me in public school. So what I'm showing here is during the daytime, I would go to public school, where it's a mixed company, and in the evening I go to Quran school where it's very closed. Okay, so this is creating two identities. Should I be like this or should I be like this? I didn't know. So this is my public school, and this is my high school. And I'm in the corner at the top. You cannot see me. Where that design is, the white and black, I'm the one right beside it. Now, when I was in school, I was not bullied. Nobody made fun of me, nobody beat me up. I had a very good life, too good. I had a house party. I told my friends, my family was overseas, and I said, come to my house, there's a big party. So the girls came and the guys came, and we had too much fun. But that night, my uncle, who was very strict, he came to the house and he saw this. And he says, A'udhu billah, astaghfirullah, what have you done? What is this? Your family is Muslim, you pray here, you read Quran here. How could you do this? So I felt so bad what I did. I thought, I have to make right. And the only way for me to do this, I must become religious. So I went to India and Pakistan with one group, Tabligh Jamaat, I think some of you know. Tabligh Jamaat is not political, but I spent 2 months India, 2 months Pakistan. When I went to Pakistan, I met these guys. They looked exactly like this. I did not know who they were at the time, but they were Taliban. So Taliban gave me da'wah. They said, if you want to change the world, you must do jihad. This is the only way to change the world. So I came back to Canada, and I had the beard, and I had the imamatu sauda, and the thobe, and I became like this. And I joined the groups who were very extreme. They were jihadi Salafi. They believed they did takfir on everyone. He is not Muslim, he is not Muslim. We are the only true Muslims. Now, if you see the last group, the last category that I showed you, the indicators towards terrorism, I had 3 out of 5. So I was right on the line. Then what happened? September 11. I was going to work. I heard that a plane flew into the building. I said, Allahu Akbar. But I thought, this is something strange. I understand, okay, jihad, you fight the enemy, the soldiers, but the plane in the building, this does not make sense. So I realized I need to study my religion properly. So I went to Syria in 2002. And in Syria, I studied Arabic and Islamic studies, Usul al-Din. And with a sheikh, who was a very nice sheikh, Sufi sheikh, And he showed me that your understanding of these ayat is wrong. Because I did not know Arabic, I did not know tafsir, I did not know usul al-fiqh, usul al-istinbat, how you make rulings. I knew none of this. And after he taught me this and he showed me this, I realized, oh, subhanAllah, I've had a wrong understanding of Islam this whole time. Also, when I was in Syria, I saw many bad things. The government was very strict. The masjid was closed between the prayers. Now, I came from Canada, and I thought, Canada is kuffar. But in Canada, the masjid is open 24 hours a day. Nobody stops you. So after spending only 2 years, there were some problems with, foreign British people who went to Tel Aviv, and he blew himself up. So there was pressure on the foreign students like me. So I had to leave. I come back to Canada, and I see this guy in the newspaper. He is charged with terrorism in the London bomb plot, fertilizer bomb plot 2004. Mubin Shaikh used to sit next to me in the madrasa. So I phoned the intelligence service. And I said to them, this must be a mistake. This is my friend. I know him. He's a good person. Family is good. Family is good. But for many reasons, he became extremist. So they said to me, well, we want to talk to you because you know him. So I went to them and they said, look, we like your thinking. And we believe that most Muslims are good Muslims. But the ones who are bad, it's the duty of Muslims to stop them. So I agreed. I said, yes, I will work for the intelligence service. And I did. I was undercover. I went into other extremist groups to find out what they are doing, who is danger, who is not danger. And I did this for about 2 years. Now, just an example of some people that we investigated. Young guy, Fahim Ahmed. Now look at his family. Born in Afghanistan during the war. Family does not practice Islam too much. Okay, and he comes to Canada in 1994. Zakaria Amara, born in Jordan. Father does not practice Islam. The mother is Christian. Father has the job with the oil company in Saudi. He is never home. When the family comes to Canada, the parents divorced. When the parents divorced, the father gave him the car keys and he never saw his father again. Now in the West, you have this thing called gangster culture. And they feel that they are, like gangsters. They think they are like rap stars. And they have this idea of violence. And you see this even in a lot of the foreign fighters who have gone to Syria. This guy, they call him Jihadi John, who is killing all the people. Gangster culture. He wanted to be a rapper, but he was no good. Right? So we see these things a lot. Another thing is their regular visits to jihadi websites, where they have people to say to them, yes, what you want to do, this is okay, this is good, you must kill yourself, you must kill others. And when you sit there and you watch these videos again and again and again, it affects you. Like the example of the blacksmith and the perfume person. The plot that I was involved in, there were 18 individuals. They wanted to blow up places in Toronto, Canada. But they got arrested, of course, and the plot could not go any further. This is an example of a video that they made to show their friends that we are jihadi. You see, we bring the flag, we are here. So remember I showed you making the videos, lone, self-made propaganda. This is what they were doing. Okay? That's okay. It's just to show you, some of the things we were doing there, training, doing jihadi training. And this is in Canada. All right? I'll give you another video. This is Zakaria Amara. He made this video. He's dialing the phone. Okay, you will see the spark. So he's showing you, look, if you look there, you will see the spark. So he has the phone to trigger the bomb. So here, starts 1, 1000, 2, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, boom, bomb goes off. These two, Sa'ad Ghaya and Sa'ad Khalid, they think that in the bag is fertilizer to make a bomb. Okay, this is a police sting operation. They go inside, they put the bags in the boxes, they come outside, they hear something. What is it? It's police. And they were arrested. Now what I will do is I will switch to foreign fighters because I know I'm running down on time. And I'll give you some topics. So this is a map that shows, all the different places foreign fighters are coming from. You see Tunisia has the very high amount, 3,000. Saudi Arabia, 2,500. Jordan, okay, 2,000. And then if you look, Europe, Norway, Sweden, 20, 10, 81. It's actually a small number of people that are going. Right? At the end of the day, this is screenshots from Twitter. So they say here, it's not how many people we kill, it's how many people are watching. Or for example, they ask questions on the internet. What's the best phone I should bring? If I join ISIS, do I have to wait or can I go in jihad right away? And they're asking this online, openly and publicly. People ask, how do people get tazkiyah before coming? So before you go, you have to know somebody who is there. And they will assist you to come in. And these are young people asking these questions online. Look at this. Brother, I don't speak Arabic. I don't know anything. Is there a place for me? And so he gives the example of one Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ in the time when there was a war. The Sahaba, he went to fight. He did not pray, he did not fast. So they use the example of the one guy and they say, now this is an example for everyone. You see, they are very ignorant of the religion. Now I started to see they're posting food pictures. Okay, this is a Swedish jihadi. He's posting Swedish gummy bears or kebabs. They're showing the people, look, we have everything here. Come, join us. Live a good life. In the land of Pepsi, Coke is king. Mango milkshake. This is a Pakistani from Britain living in Syria, and he is saying pizza is home-cooked food. Ajib. This is one individual, he is learning to cook for his brothers. So I asked him in a tweet, I said, did you help your mother to cook once in your life? The women, all right? These are just some pictures. But what this article talks about is, look, attractive jihadis. They look good. So the girls who are at home, they cannot talk to boys. So the only one they can talk to is Muslims. And when they go online, they are talking to their jihadi boyfriends. And they say here, look, I like what I see. So when people ask, why do these girls go to join these groups? Because they have nothing where they live. They cannot go and find a husband because of this reason, this reason. But if they stay home, the parents think, oh, my daughter is so religious. I listen and I hear Quran and nice, nasheeds coming, but they don't know that this is jihadi, all jihadi stuff. This is an example of how they encourage the men to fight. Okay, just different examples. This one is saying, I miss my mother, but because of what is happening in Syria to the people, and it's a very, very tragic situation, what is happening in Syria. And when the people see this, they feel, I must do something. This one, he says, in Islam, we believe that the person on whom Jahannam is wajib, the person who is a shaheed, he can say to Allah, oh Allah, save this person. Save this person from hell because I am a shaheed. So because of the shaheed, Allah will take the person out from Jahannam. So look what he is saying here. He is saying that his mother is going to Jahannam. and he will intercede for her. Jahil person. More examples of what these guys, they show their face. Look, good looking, European. He says, I am extremist, I am terrorist. Just an example of psychological operations. This is for the military side. So this is an example of a cartoon that the Pentagon, Daesh, is only bringing you to your death. But look at their propaganda. You see? People with the worst pasts make the good future. Or, when we picked up the gun, they started to listen. Or, when deeds speak, words are nothing. Sometimes just go. Don't even think. Don't regret chances. You wanted to go, you didn't go, you missed out. Look at this, one bullet away from Jannah. Look at this. This is our Call of Duty video game. I'm going to skip this video because it's going to take too long. But what this U.S. State Department did, they have a thing called Think Again, Turn Away, to dissuade people from joining these groups. So what they did is they switched it. They said, don't join the U.S. Army, don't become a terrorist. You know this guy? So because I am attacking them on Twitter, on Facebook, I'm a murtad. Because I am against them, I am out of Islam. So they have posted warnings against me. Watch out, this guy, he was with, Mukhabarat, Kennedy, and so he's bad guy, so watch him. And sometimes when they show a hostage being killed, look, the guy put my name there. He says, when I saw this, I thought of you. And he's talking to me. And it's okay because I want to talk to them. We need to engage them. We need to argue against them and show them. This guy is upset. He says, I don't understand how some people promote Mubin Shaikh. So I said to him, look, when Allah blesses someone, He gives him tafaqquh, understanding. So what I start to do is I show them a hadith, okay, from the Sunni Islamic tradition about who they are. This is hadith from Bukhari about the Khawarij, because ISIS, Daesh, ISIL, IS, what they call them, they are Khawarij, is the proper Islamic term. And Bukhari said that they are Murtaddin. Under Bab al-Ridda, he put the Khawarij. So when they say that we are Murtad, no. In Bukhari, it says that you, Khawarij, you are the Murtad. Or for example, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, they are Kilabun Nar. Kilabun Nar, dogs of hellfire. So my approach is to use the Islamic material to show them what they are doing is not Islam. Another example, this hadith Hasan, the Prophet ﷺ said, they are not Muslim. He says they were Muslim, but they left Islam. يَمْرُقُونَ مِنَ الْإِسْلَامِ. Ibn Kathir, he is a famous scholar. He says about the Khawarij in Iraq and Sham. If they became powerful in Iraq and Sham, they would kill everyone. And we can see what they are doing now in Iraq and Sham. This is my favorite one. Because the hadith says here, from the Khawarij, from min baqiyatihim, from the last remnants. Now what does ISIS say? They say baqiya. And I say to them, nice, you say baqiya, hadith says min baqiyatihim. Min baqiyatihim what? Yakhruju ad-Dajjal, the Antichrist. So when you say to them, listen, you are not Muslim, you are the people Ahlul Dajjal. When you say to one of them, they are Khawarij, they become very upset. This is how you challenge them. If you say to them Daesh, okay, some of them they don't like Daesh. If you say ISIS, okay, some of them they don't like ISIS. But if you say Khawarij, if you say Ahlul Dajjal, this is a better way to go. Look, hadith in Sahih Muslim. that Dajjal will come the road بين العراق والشام. So I show them this map, and I show them that on the map, on that road between Iraq and Sham, your people are there. So I try to show that they are Khawarij, and they are Khawarij Ahl Dajjal. These are my last slides. I will show you. Am I getting the 2-minute mark? All right. This is an example of a girl, white American girl from Washington State. Look what she is saying here. What happened is she was speaking to ISIS recruiters. They wanted to bring her over there. So some people, they said, you know, they put my name. Now my handle on Twitter is Caliphate Cop. So I guess Shurta fi Khilafa. Because on my Twitter I put, you know, Khilafatu Isa alayhi salam, right? We Muslims, we believe when Isa alayhi salam returns, he is the Khalif. He will have real Khilafah. So they put me, they said, you know, Mubin, you should talk to this girl. So I started talking to her, and she said, you know, oh, they care about me, you know, they were teaching me Islam. So I said, do you know these people? Do you know their faces? How can you take your Islam from people you don't know? This is one guy who is talking to the girl. You can see the girl in the corner, okay? Or some email messages that they sent. They said, I know someone who will marry you, but he's not good looking, 45 and bald. How old am I? 39, all right. It's not. So, you know, she's saying, look, so basically no photos and I can't ever look at a guy, great. But the conversation continues. Okay, so, you know, for example, I'm showing her to understand what? This group, they kill, they rape people. This is not Islamic. So in the bottom I say, okay, what verses do they use? She says, oh no, they use ayat from the Quran. I said, I used to be an extremist. Show me these ayat. I will refute them. So then I give her, look, you know, she says, look, that's all okay, I want God. I said, wonderful, but you will not find God by spreading evil. And I gave her some sources, you know, free sources to study. Then, you know, then I said to her, look, their kindness is a fake. You know, they show that they're very nice, they love you. Oh, I want to marry you, you are so beautiful, I love you. And I said, no, this is only a fake. This is only a cover to bring you over and to finish you. So finally, after she says, okay, I'm not going to be with them anymore. And alhamdulillah, she has left them. She's no longer with them. The FBI is involved. The FBI is trying to find this guy. He's living in the UK. He's married. His wife doesn't know what he's doing. He has kids. So, you know, this is what is happening every day online. Facebook, Twitter, every day. And I have been online, on Twitter mostly, since the war in Syria began. And I watched the whole foreign fighter thing begin. I talked to a lot of them. Some of them are dead. Some of them are still alive. They still talk to me. One guy, I spoke to him just 3 days ago. After 2 years of working on him, he also left the group. So I'm going to give you one last video. It's only 2.5 minutes. And my presentation will conclude. I always show this. Maybe some of you will recognize him. I show this. This is Islam. Real Islam. The Sheikh, if you know him, he is Ahl Bayt. There's no video, there's no sound. We need sound, brother. We need sound for this one. Anyways, while they sort that out, I just finish off by saying, I think first of all, Abu Dhabi is a very good example of a successful Muslim country. I'm not only saying this because I'm here. I mean this truly. If you look at other places, they have tried to find the balance between modernization and being Muslim and being religious. And I think I'm also going to be at the Hidayah conference in June, June 8 to 10, there is a conference. And this is good for Muslim countries to take the lead, because all the non-Muslim countries will tell you, we cannot talk about Islam. American government politician is not going to talk about Islam to Muslims, because the Muslims themselves will say, you're not Muslim, how are you going to tell us about Islam? So it really, I believe, it is the duty of Muslims to refute the message of ISIS, Daesh, Khawarij. I think especially what's happening in the West, Western Muslims, they need good role models. They need good Muslim role models. Now you have some shuyukh who are speaking up. There is one very popular sheikh, Sheikh Abdullah bin Bayya from Mauritania. He has been speaking very vocally on this issue. The American Muslim, his name is Hamza Yusuf. Maybe some of you know him. Very, 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 very good individual. Very smart. This is the only way that we will do something against this group and these people. But this is Habib Omar. Maybe some of you know Habib Ali Jifri. I think he is doing some work here. These are the people that we need. These are the people that governments should support. Governments should put them on TV. Governments should give them positions of influence. My suggestion, because they have influence among young people, especially because they are from the family of the Prophet ﷺ. This has effect in the people's hearts. So it's unfortunate, but this is a very good bayan that he gives, only 2.5 minutes. I use this in my presentations in the West especially, so that Western people can see that we have good examples of Muslims that are giving a good message. Thank you very much.